Hello, good morning. I am Dr.Agam Dayal, a retired Associate Professor of Zoology. I am also associated with two NGOs, Jan Vikas Mahasabha and Society of Career Technology. I have three types of lectures on YouTube. On career, I have the portal Agam Shiksha Sugam Career. There are 44 episodes. Then for zoology, we have about 200 episodes. The portal is dr.agamdayal/soaked classes. So you can open it by any of them. There was much emphasis on genetics, animal physiology, biochemistry. And third, I have also started 14 episodes on Paryavaran. Some of the students required, and today I will talk about tissues. First the plant tissues and then the animal tissues. Tissues are group of cells which perform one function. In most of the books of 9th class, they have written a group of similar cells which perform a common function is called tissue. All right, it is their wish. But in xylem and phloem, we have more than one type of cells making a tissue. So the tissues are a group of similar or sometimes dissimilar cells which perform one common function. Then the plant tissues are of two types. One, meristematic tissues in which the cells have capacity to divide. They can divide and give rise to new cells. There are permanent tissues in which the capacity of cell division has lost. They have become permanent, differentiated to perform some function. The meristematic tissues are found at some places. For example, root apex or shoot apex, or on the lateral side where axillary buds or leaf is arising. And permanent tissues are, on the basis of their function, they can be divided into three types: protective, supportive and conductive. Protective tissue is just for protection, for simple epidermis, outermost covering of the stem, root or the plant body. Supportive tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma are generally thin-walled cells. They are living cells. They have a nucleus, a central vacuole and surrounding cytoplasm. Sometimes, just as in potato, the parenchyma cells accumulate starch granules. So the starch granules may be deposited in the cell. Then there are certain modifications of parenchyma cells. Sometimes some chloroplasts are accumulated as in the green leaves. So such type of parenchyma are called chlorenchyma. Then sometimes in suppose banana plant and some aquatic plants, water hyacinth, etc., there may be much more intercellular spaces and the cells are very far apart from each other. They are called arenchyma. Now, you will ask that where these parenchyma cells are found. If we cut a transverse section of stem, outermost is the epidermis, then just below it collenchyma, the vascular bundles. So parenchymatous cells are found at two places. In the center, the pith, and in between the vascular bundles and the hypodermis, which is called cortex. Now, this was about parenchyma. Now, in parenchyma, there is much more intercellular space. Second type of cells are collenchyma, in which the cells are similarly thin-walled, but the intercellular spaces are thickened. Actually, collen means glue. So, in collenchyma, the cells are thin-walled, living cells having a nucleus, cytoplasm, and a central vacuole. But they are elongated, and the cells are attached with each other at the intercellular spaces, which are thickened glue-like. So these cells, collenchyma, provide support to the plant body. Then third type of cells are sclerenchyma. These cells are dead cells. They have thick wall, and they are found, suppose, in the covering of the fruit and in some internal places. Now, the conducting tissues. The conducting tissues are complex tissues. They are made up of more than one type of cells. They are also called vascular tissues. For example, they are xylem and phloem. So, in xylem, actually these are elongated cells. In the beginning, there are certain pores in between the cells. Later on, the partition wall between the cells dissolve and they become elongated tube-like structures. So they help in movement of water from the root to the different parts of the plant body. On the other hand, phloem. Phloem is for transport of food material. So whatever food is synthesized in the leaves, the carbohydrate, starch, etc., through these cells, they are transported to every part of the plant body. Now these phloem cells are also of three types. The elongated cells, they are called sieve cells, and in between they are some filter-like structure which is called sieve plate. They are for transport of the food material. And associated with these sieve cells, there are two types of cells. One, companion cells. Companion cells try to maintain the osmotic pressure of the cell constant. And then phloem parenchyma is just associated with that. They are simple parenchymatous cells. Now, one more thing. There is a different rate of division in the xylem cells. In winter season, the xylem cells are formed which are small. They are called protoxylem, and in spring they are much more enlarged. They are called metaxylem. So what happens? In 1 year, in the spring, there is protoxylem, then metaxylem. Again, the next year what happens? The winter season comes, small protoxylem cells are formed, and then after in spring season, large metaxylem cells are formed. So these alternate small protoxylem cells and large metaxylem cells make a ring, which is called annual ring. And by counting this number of rings, we can find it out what is the age of the plant. Thank you very much.